Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Happy Thursday. Almost says Tuesday. That's random. Happy Thursday. My name is Lori DeGroot from Lorita Marie Crafts, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Calgary, Alberta. And I'm so excited to be here. I like to share fun tips, techniques, and inspiration to help you expand your paper crafting skills, get you using those crafting supplies, or maybe even trying a brand new hobby when you see how much fun it is. This week, I am going to be sharing 2 cards with you that feature products from a brand new suite of products that are in the brand new January to April 2023 Mini Catalog. And it is my favorite suite. And if you have been watching for the last couple weeks, maybe you can guess which one it is. So whether you're watching live this week, and thank you so much if you are, and if you are tuning into the replay, I really appreciate you taking the time to tune into the replay. You can always just let me know that you're watching the replay, and you can still comment, and I can still check things out that way. So if you can guess what my favorite suite is, I wonder what you would guess. And so this suite is also the star of this month's class. So every month I do a class I call a Stamp and Create class. And it is a fun project featuring some amazing Stampin' Up! Supplies. And this month, I am doing a mini album. So mini albums are so much fun. I don't really make them very often, but for the last couple Januaries, I made different forms of little mini albums. And so I was like, this is like my new January tradition. And so I'm going to show it to you here. Not the whole thing, but this class features products from the Regency Park Suite. So that's my favorite one, which I'm going to show you all about in a minute here. But I'm going to give you the sneak peek of the cover of the mini album so you can see how big it is. And it's got lots of fun surprises inside, fun folds, things that fold out and up, and pockets, and all sorts of cute things. And so when you sign up for my class, you get all the supplies that you need to make it, okay? Except for the stamp sets and ink pads. Those are add-ons. But you're going to get paper, you're going to get cardstock, you're going to get ribbon and embellishments, you're going to get all the main pieces cut, you're going to get die cut pieces cut and prepped for you, and you're going to get a full video tutorial, step-by-step instructions on how to make it so that it's easy for you to follow and make it yourself. And so my goal is that you get these beautiful products in your hand, but then you have a beautiful project to make with it as well. And I think you're really going to love this one. I'm really excited with how it turned out. I just finished the whole inside yesterday, and it's so cute. So the registration is open now, but only until next Thursday. And so I'm going to pop the link in here, which just takes you to my website, which all the details, and then you can see how to register for it and the cost and everything like that. So the tutorial is available to anybody, even if you're not from Canada. So tutorials for anybody, but the full class with the products is just for Canadians, and I can mail to anywhere in the country. So that's always exciting. So let's get you to the camera here down on my craft desk. And I'm going to show you the Regency Park Suite. So this is, like I said, the brand new catalog that Stampin' Up! Just released. This lovely purple catalog. You can't miss it. And this suite spoke to me right away because it has some of my favorite colors in it. So navy and yellow and like petal pink. Oh, it's my favorite Stampin' Up! Color. And so it's got all my favorite things in it, and it's got cute little daisies and flowers, and I just love it. And I can't wait to show all the things to you. So I'm going to, sometimes, you know, you can't get a feel for things just looking in the catalog. And so that's why I'm here, so I can show you some of the products, real life, technically, through a video, and that you can see how awesome they are. So here's just some of the colors. So you can see they're bold and vibrant, right? But you can also pare down to like the petal pink and the balmy blue if you like more subtle colors. This is the Regency Park Designer Series paper. So it's got all these beautiful patterns. You've got flowers, and then you've got kind of solids in there working with all these pretty colors. So you can see all the patterns there. So that's all the DSP. And then It's got embellishments and ribbon. These are part of my class. This pretty Night of Navy ribbon. It's a little sparkly, a little shimmery, a little like see-through. It's so pretty. And then I wanted to show you another part of the suite here before I get to the stamp sets and stuff. This is the textured paper. And I was just talking to my sister the other day about how in the catalog you can't tell at all what it looks like. You got to see it in person. So there are 3 colors. Look at this. You can see how shiny it is. So, you know, again, the camera can only do so much justice there, but it is 12 by 12. You get 2 sheets of each color. It is like corrugated, so it's bumpy and it's shiny, okay? So it's kind of shimmery. And so you get 2 sheets of each. It's balmy blue, white, and shaded spruce. It's so pretty. So you can use it big on your card. You can just cut out little elements from it, get a little sheen to your cards, your projects. It is so pretty. And then this is like one of the big bundles, right? So, or big suites. So you can, you know, get as little of the suite as you want, or you can go big and get every part of the suite. But it's got an embossing folder. I won't be using this today, but this is the cane weave embossing folder. You will get to see some of that in my class. And then it's got 2 bundles. So it's got one with a punch, Petal Park, where it's got these pretty flowers and a punch. And then it's got Sentimental Park, which has the sentiments, and then it comes with these dies. So there are lots of fun things to play with today. And so just to get us started, I kind of wanted to show you a little bit of what it looks like. So this is 2-step stamping. So you can 2-step the leaves. That means you can stamp the outline and then stamp the inside. So you've got leaves, individual leaves, little flowers, plus the little, what's the word I'm looking for? A little trio. That's it. I'm like triple, little trio of flowers here that you can punch out. So I'm going to show you a card that I made the other day, and it kind of shows this off. And so I 2-stepped this with, so you've got the outline, and then you've got the inside in shaded spruce, and then the flowers I stamped and then punched out. And what's nice about this is you can punch out the leaf, but you can also just punch out the flowers. You don't have to do them all at the same time. And so that is one of the bundles, and I'm going to be using the punch today, but not the stamp set. Let's just put that aside. And then I wanted to show you, if I can find everything. I want to show you this. Okay, so sometimes you need some visuals, right, to see how it works. So this is this stamp here. So you got an outline, the inside, and then this is what it looks together. So that's what 2-step stamping is, means you've got 2 steps. So this is Sweet Sorbet, and I just stamped off to give 2 different looks. So you just have 1 ink color there. And then there's also an individual flower. So again, the outline, the inside, and then what it looks like together. And then there's this fun little background stitchy piece here that you can add as well. And then you're going to see it stamps this cute little leaf too, right? So here's the outline, the inside, how they look together, and then I paired it with the flower. And so these pieces, right, 1, 2, 3, can all be cut out with the dies as well. So you've got the die for this. You've got the leaf one, so that's going to cut that out, and you've got this individual flower one. So those all match, but then let's show you what all these little cutout pieces, like there's a lot of fun pieces here. And so this is everything that the dies cut out. And then we'll get to making our cards. So I have used this part already on a few cards you might have seen. So you get this pretty little outline piece here, and then a label, and it actually tucks inside. This is like my favorite part. So it tucks in both corners there. I can get in there. There we go. So you've got that piece. Then you've got a smaller one here. Then you've got this lovely flower stem. This is what the other one looks like just in cardstock. And then you've got all these little fun flowers to play with. But you don't have to cut these all out one by one. A lot of them are like, this is 3 flowers, 2 flowers together. So you've got these cute little ones that are just outlines, these little daisies. And then these ones here are actually embossed. And they have a little detail, which I'm probably, oh, there we go. You can see the cute little detail on them, and they're not even all the same. That one's, there we go. Aren't they pretty? So they put a little embossed detail on them. So I would suggest that you cut out, when you're working on a project and you want to use this bundle, cut out a bunch of flowers in whatever the colors are that you're using. And then you're not like one-off kind of cutting out those little flowers, but you could put them in a little Ziploc baggie that you get with some Stampin' Up supplies, and then just kind of be ready. You can pull off. You're like, oh, this flower looks good. This flower looks good. Okay, so let's get to card making. That's why we're here, right? But this bundle is so pretty, and all the pieces of it are awesome. So the first card that I wanted to show you was how to create a card and then make the most of your 6x6 designer series paper. So these aren't the patterns I'm using, but I just wanted to show you. So this paper stack comes in 6x6, and one of my problems, not a problem, but one of the things with a 6x6 stack is that if you cut it to the full front of your card, you only get 1 card per sheet of paper, and then you just get a couple little strips left over. So I wanted to make a card where you could cut this in a 3x3 or use a 1-inch piece or whatever, so that you can maximize your 6x6 paper. So you kind of have to think about how you cut your paper a little differently when you've got the 6x6 as opposed to the full 12x12. All right, so I'm going to grab my paper trimmer here, and then I've got 2 patterns that go together. And so this one I've already had used on a project, so this is cut in half at 3 inches, but then I just need it to be 5 1/4, so I'm just going to trim that off. And then you can save your bits together for another project. And then I only want 1 inch of this. And so you can see I can obviously get 6, I can get 6 1-inch strips out of 1 piece of DSP. My math is really good. It's very impressive. Okay, and I'm going to cut this also to 5 1/4. And so this is the layout that we're going to go for. And then I wanted to add, whenever I do this, I love to have like a connecting piece that kind of creates a seam, and so it just looks a little more finished on your card. And so I wanted to use some of that amazing shimmery paper. And so this is just a 1/2-inch strip, and then I'm going to cut that to 5 1/4 as well. And I like to do a 1/2 inch as opposed to say a 1/4 inch, because then it is easier to put your adhesive on. So that's why. Everything should be as simple as you can make it, right? So we're just going to go ahead and put our seal on the back of this. And so remember, you're aiming to have about a 1/4 inch border. So like I said, this is my favorite suite, but I'm curious if you have a favorite suite, one that jumped out at you right away that was your most favorite. You know, everyone has, there's so many different ones this time. Have you seen the one with the little bunny and the turtles? So cute. The rainy day one. I love that one too. I'm going to use my Seal Plus on this just because it's textured and shiny and I really want it to stick. So that's why I switched up there. And so then I'm just going to cover up the border here. And then that looks really good. And so this card is going to come together fairly easily. So we've got that. And then I've cut out this fabulous die that I was showing you earlier. So this is in So Saffron. And then I've cut out a piece in white. And we're going to stamp our sentiment. So one thing I noticed is that depending on which sentiment you're going to use, you might want to put it inside first before you stamp. So one time I did, which one did I do? I can't remember what I did, but I used like thinking of, or just for you or whatever, but I had the 3 lines and then it was like underneath where my flowers were. So you want to make sure if you're going to be using a bigger sentiment that maybe you just tuck it in first and then do your stamping, and then you'll know if you can see everything in there. And so I'm going to do a mashup here, thinking of all the wonderful things you do. And just grab my blocks here. A skinny one, if I can find it. Okay, and I'm going to be stamping in Shaded Spruce. And then what I wanted to say about the yellow and why I chose So Saffron is that sometimes cardstock is a lot more vibrant than even like the ink pad or Designer Series paper. And so this DSP actually has Mango Melody in it. And the Mango Melody cardstock is like really bright. And so you can see it's kind of this really deep kind of orangey color. And it was a bit bright for my card. And so sometimes I just look for the next tone down, right? So if Mango Melody is a bright, in the bright family. So if you look in the subtles, right, the yellow, it's the same kind of tone. It looks really good. So that's one way that you can kind of find a color that you like. Okay, so now we're going to tuck this in. And I've just put a little adhesive on the back so that it'll stay put. Okay, and it does tuck in there, having issues. There we go. And then I decided that I wanted this to hang off a little bit. So that's why I stamped this on a 1/2 inch strip. And I'm just going to angle off the end and snip this off. So sometimes when I'm cutting cardstock, I'll have a 1/2 inch strips left from cutting like the inside white on a card base. And sometimes I keep a little bucket of it and then I can quickly stamp a sentiment on it. And I'm just going to use dimensionals on the back of this. So this card was fairly simple. And then the next one I'm so excited about. It's a little different for me. It's kind of mostly like the punch and the dies. So you'll definitely want to stick around to see that one. And then I'm gonna like layer that up. So I decided I liked that better than stamping it right on to the label piece. So now you can see how you can easily put a card together with this suite. And of course, it's got lots of fun colors in there. So you can make this one. I focused on the green and yellow, but obviously if you go and use the blues, it's gonna look completely different. And so that's kind of a fun thing to do. And then you've got the gems, of course, which are so cute. And then you can add those into the center of your flowers or wherever you want them to go. They're so pretty. And just add a few of those. And that is our first card. All right, let's get to the second one. And like I said, this one's a little, this one's fun. I was trying to use I want to use the punch and the dies and to show you something a little bit different. So I've got, here, let's get rid of some of my scrap paper here. So I'm just using a basic white card base again. And then the colors, sometimes I start with colors and then go backwards and kind of figure out what I want to do. So the colors that I kind of went with is Sweet Sorbet and Flirty Flamingo. I was itching to use Flirty Flamingo. I haven't been able to use it for a while. And then I've got Pear Pizzazz. And I'm bringing in that So Saffron again. This time I've cut out that smaller piece. And then I wanted a backdrop for these colors without using Designer Series paper. So what I ended up going with was soft seafoam. And then it was kind of the perfect neutral backdrop for these colors. So what I did was I just cut it out with the stitched rectangle dies so that it has like a nice little detail on it. And this is just the nice neutral background for our card. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that on. And what we're going to do is create a bouquet of flowers. And it's going to be so cute. Oops, I just got to make sure I can. So it's hard to stay organized off camera there. So let's get all our pieces together. So the first thing we need is we need a flower stem. So this is from the Regency Park die, or the Sentimental Park dies. And all of these dies are going to fit into your mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And the mini is part of the awesome Celebration starter kit. I don't know if you've looked into that or heard about it. But if you join Stampin' Up and purchase the starter kit right now, you can get an option with the mini, or even a blue one if you like the color blue. So much fun. So I'm going to go ahead and layer this up, and we're going to cut out our flower. And it always moves my paper around, so I'm going to move it back here. And I'm just going to run this through. I need like an extra table beside me here. I've done before. All right, so I've got one, and you can see how pretty that is. It's so cute, so detailed. And so I actually need two. So I've already cut out my second one. So now we've got two of those that we need. And then we need our flowers. And so I'm going to show you how to cut out some of the flowers again. So easy with your mini. I've got a piece of Flirty Flamingo, and then I'm just going to grab a bunch of the flowers. Actually, instead of this one, there's this one here that's like a little trio. So I'm just going to cut them all out at the same time. There we go. Okay, and then we've got our flowers. And then once you have those, we're going to use the punch for the other flowers. So let's move that out of the way. So this is the punch. So of course you can stamp and then punch out your flowers if you want some detail. And so I'll show you, here's what they would look like stamped and punched out. But if you don't have the stamp set, or this is going to be a card kit, this is actually my card class this month that you can either purchase for $20, or you can get it for free with an order, with a $40 order until Tuesday or Monday, till Monday. It's like, what was that again? And my paper is all come off there. Okay, so you see I've got my punched out flowers, and now we're going to start putting this together. So I want one of these that are whole, and then what I'm going to do is take this second one, and I'm going to snip it right there, and then I'm going to get two more. And this is how I'm going to create my little bouquet of flowers. And so you can use your liquid glue if you like to put this on, or you can do glue dots like me. I just prefer glue dots because they're less messy and it's quick. So we're going to kind of have that hanging off the bottom a little bit. And then we're going to get our glue dots on this one. And if you think they're sticking out, you can kind of tuck them back a little bit, but they'll be mostly hidden by the sentiment that's coming on here. So we'll put this one kind of like this. Okay, and then we've got this one here. And we're going to put a sentiment over all this, so that's going to look a lot neater, right? So then we're going to grab these flowers and just going to layer them up like this. And so I'm just going to use my glue dots again. And you can use, if you want to add some dimension to your flowers, you can use your fingers, or you can use your bone folder, and you can kind of fluff them up a little bit. Sometimes I don't worry too much about that, especially if it's going into a card, into an envelope, then it's just going to get flattened out anyway. So these all layer up nice together, the punch and the dies together. Or you could just use the punch and layer up that way too, just with the different sizes, right? And then I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of these. And then a little one. That one. And we're going to put these on like so. So cute already. And then we're not done yet. We're going to do our sentiment. And what I wanted to show you was this die here. It's just got the one size. So it doesn't have the two layering pieces like the bigger one. And so what I decided to do was, I've got this one in So Saffron, and this one I'm just going to go along the shape and snip off the extra bits. So we're just going to cut those off. And then I'll show you how to hide those marks in a second. But it's going to go on like this. Turn that off a little bit more. And this time I'm going to use the thanks. I really like the thank you here. And I'm going to use Sweet Sorbet. And we'll stamp that on the white. And then grab some adhesive, and then we're going to layer this up right onto the yellow. And then you're still going to see, then you get the yellow flowers, but you can still stamp on it if you didn't want to stamp on the colored cardstock. So that's just another thing to try. And then we've still got a few more flowers, right? And so I'm going to grab these little flowers that I already cut out, and I'm going to layer them up where there's the little cut out hole pieces. And then it's going to hide that, and nobody will ever know. Isn't that cute? So much fun. This card is turning into one of my favorites. I love it. So I put some dimensionals on the back of that, and I'm just going to grab some twine before I'm done. So any twine would do. This is from the Basics pack where there's some different neutral colors. You get black and white and crumb cake and gray. You kind of get a whole bunch of different colors. So this is from that pack. And I kind of want to tuck it back here. So I just kind of looped it in thirds. I'm going to put it in the glue dot right in the middle to hold it all together. And then I'm going to tuck it on the back so that it's kind of where I want it to be. And then we're going to put this over kind of all the messy part of our stems. And then last but not least, we need the little centers for the flowers. So we'll just put the centers on. And I'm going to go with all yellow. Go where I want you. Do it. There we go. All right. Let's fold this up. Then you can see what it looks like. You can tell me which one's your favorite. But isn't that fun? I like this one. Just creating a little bouquet of flowers. And here is the first one we did that was more about the designer series paper. So like I said, this is my weekly class. So every week I have a free class with purchase. So if you place an order with my current host code for $40 or more, you're going to get the supplies to make these cards. But they are also part of my January class. Here, let me just bring up to my face again. They're also part of my January class. So if you purchase my class, you can also purchase the card kit for $20. And then you're also going to get everything that you need to make these. So lots of fun options there. So if you have any questions, just feel free to ask me or let me know. My website is loritamariecrafts.ca, which you'll be able to find all the information you need. And thank you so much for hanging out with me today on this lovely Thursday. And I hope that you will join me next Thursday. We'll have some more fun projects with some new items from Celebration and the new mini catalog. So thanks so much, guys. Until next week. Bye-bye.